ये बैठना तो बैठ सकता हूँ ना आगे लेके चेयर। ओके। Good morning, friends. I here come with another topic of the same SAP ABAP. The another topic, initially first days we have learned about the SAP introduction. Now we are starting with the SAP ABAP data dictionary part. This is the first part of your book, I meant to say. Initially we have SAP ABAP. We will start with the SAP ABAP data dictionary. Then we have a SAP ABAP programming. We will learn about how to do the programming and all. After that, slowly we are going to touch the difficult part of the SAP ABAP, just like BDC, and then we have a enhancement, then we have a BADI, BAPI, and another things. So let's start with the SAP ABAP data dictionary. What is exactly the data dictionary? Why we are using the data dictionary over here in the SAP ABAP? See, actually what happened? For anything, for any whatever you are doing, just like if you are getting a purchase order, or if you are applying for invoices or all the things, that should be stored somewhere else. Just like there is in the purchase order, there should be a PO number, purchase order number. So purchase order number, how we generate the purchase order number? Through some transaction it is generating. When you are going to creating some, when you get the PO, then there should be a purchase order. So purchase order number. The purchase order number should be stored somewhere in the system itself. Then from there we will get the purchase order number, and after that we can see that purchase order number, and we can do our processing. So in the purchase order number, from where we are getting the purchase, it should be stored somewhere in the program, in the table. So there should be some tables. So data dictionary, in the data dictionary we will learn about the tables, ABAP tables, then their domain, what exactly the data type what we are using in the ABAP. Then we are, hopefully you have a little bit knowledge about, because if you have something know about the C and C++, then you have to know about the data type, what exactly the data type. See, data type basically we are using the declaring at the time of declaration we are using the data type. Data type, just like for some there should be integer data type. Integer is nothing but a number. Then character, we have a, just like A B C D, this is a character. We have a different kind of data type which we are going to see over here in the ABAP dictionary. And then we have a domain. Domain exactly is nothing but a kind of data type, you can say that. Then we have a data element. Data element, when we are going to declare any table fields, when we are going to see this, where there is a table, and in this table there is a lot of fields. In the fields we have to define the fields should be supported by the data element. Data element is nothing but a kind of data type, you can say that. Then data element, and then we have a search help, we have a lock objects, lot of things we will going to learn in the data dictionary part. So let's start one by one. So first we have to start with the SE11. SE11 is a transaction. What we have learned in the first day, there is a lot of transaction through which the SAP is running out. So SE11 is the transaction for the data dictionary. Do remember always SE11. This is basically for data dictionary part. So SE11 has been used for the data dictionary part. This is a centralized type definition and management. Creation of user-defined data elements. What I have taught about data elements, structures. Structure is nothing but a kind of table, but which cannot store any data. Structure is a kind of table which cannot store any data. But table is store the data, but the structure cannot store any data. It's empty. Only the field and the data element should be there. Then table type, we have a table type. We will see the table type. Definition of tables, indexes, the view definition of services that supports program development. Then table locking and locking, how to release the lock, we will see. There is two terms have been used over here. The defining input help, which is F4, and defining field help, which is F1. See, actually what happened in the SAP, when you want to know about, see, there is a F4 help, in the sense there is, you should have to put F4 button in the your keypad. So you will find, just like there is a field, and in the field there is a one tab. Just suppose example, I have a one company code, which is basically used in the SAP. Company code is just like in a different company, we will assign the different company with different numbers, just like India, for suppose for India 011, US for 022, then UK for 033, then Germany for 044, just like that. So if I want to see all the companies, then should be one help button, which is called F4 button, which is nothing but a help. When you're going to on that particular company code tab, and you put F4 button, so it will show you all the company codes which is related a particular company, for just help. Then same field have one. Just like if you want to know what is the field or table have been used for that particular company code, then you going over there and you put F1, have F1, so it will one pop-up will come which will show you the company code, the field for the company code. Just like for company code, we have using Bookers, BUKRS is a field, and there is lot of table have been used by the company code, so you can, it is very easy to get the directly know about the company code field. Then we have changes with the SAP ABAP dictionary are immediately in the effect for those programs which use that data dictionary element. We can use these things in our programming. So when you are going to learn about the programming, so how we use these terms, I mean to say, especially data elements, structure, table type, we will see over there when we start the actual learning the programming itself. Then we have then the data definition. What exactly the data definition? We have a data types. What we have all talked about, three types. There is a three types it can be defined. One is data element, structure, and table type. Data element is nothing but when in the table itself the field is assigned to a particular data element. So each field has to be one data element, and data element has to be created with the help of domain or data types. Then we have a structure. A structure is nothing but this structure is nothing but a kind of table which hold nothing, which hold no data, but the structure we are using and declaring with the help of type statement. We will see over there in the then table type. Table type is nothing but the internal table. Actually, what happened in SAP ABAP, we pull the data from the, just like SQL, we are using SQL query to pull the data from the database. Just like if there is a data, suppose there is a one table, Mara is basically used for material management table. This is material management. So I want to get the Matnar. Matnar is a material number. Suppose I'm manufacturing. I'm running the manufacturing company, and I want to know the records of all the material which I have in my godown right now. So what I will do, I will fetch the data of Matnar. So I will write the query select star or select Matnar or MAKTX. MAKTX is the material description. So Matnar MAKTX from Mara, which is basically used for this particular, I can say that in the code itself, we will pull the data, then we will ask about the Mara and the select, then Matnar and MAKTX from Mara into. When we are going to into is basically we are going to create one internal table. Actually, SAP is not directly pull the data, from the database table, but we have to store that data into somewhere. So the concept which is called to store the data in the system itself, which is in RAM, is called the internal table. What internal table did? Internal table will store the data for a time being into the RAM. The internal table basically used as a RAM, So it stored the data into the RAM, and at the time of display the data, it will display the data according to the requirement. So we are using that concept for basically in the internal table. Excuse me, can you someone remove the agarbatti? It is too much over there. Yeah. Then we have a type group. What exactly is the type group? The type group option provided by the dictionary, that is a primarily there is a support older development. Basically in the 4.5 or 4.6 we are using basically the type group now, but we are not using any type group, the new version of the SAP. Then type group are available before data types that were supported. Type group now are primarily used in define non-object oriented constants. Basically it is using for non-object oriented constant. Nowadays we are not using the type, we are using only type to declare our structure, but we are not using the type group. Then domain, what we are talking about the domain. Domain data is available to support the definition of data type. Domain data is available to support the definition of data type. What I have asked you, when you're going to create a data element, then we can use a domain. We'll see in the next few slides. I have shown you one domain over there through which we are getting the we are creating the data element. So domain data is available to support the definition of data type. Basically it is supporting the data types. Again we are going to read, domain data is available to support the definition of data type. So it is basically supporting the data types, definition of domain. So basically data type is supporting the domain, but domain data is not accessible in a ABAP programming because we are not directly able to fetch the domain data. So we are using data type in place of that. There are 24 specifications in the domain that are used in the data dictionary data types. Describe the technical characteristics of a table field. What it will do, it will describe the technical characteristics of a table field. Specify a value range which describe allowed data values for the field. There is a value range. How in the domain, when you are going to create a domain, you will find there is a range. So just like in sometimes we are getting the data and what we want in the domain itself, we put all the data. Just like in any company, they want a material number. There is a fixed material number. They do not want to do changes in their material number. Suppose from 1 to 10 they have material and they want to that number only in every time. So what we can do, that number we can directly store in the domain. We will create a domain and we can directly store that number into the domain value range. So every time when they are required a number, so it will fetch the data from domain itself. So it will show the data when you're going to pop up, I mean to say, when you're going to use F for help. In every time F for help, you will get the 10 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it's a fixed number. We cannot write any coding logic to continue the number. Just like they want to fix a number, so we have a fixed range over here. So every time when you require a number which is fixed or anything which is character or number, anything fixed, so you can directly store those things in your domain. So then we have a field referring to the same domain via the data elements assigned to them. Are changes when a changes is made into the domain. When you are going to change the domain, so your data element is itself will be going to change. So this is terminology. So your data element. So your data element directly or indirectly depend on domain only. So ensure consistency. It will ensure your consistency. Just like example, purchasing document number. In the PO number, which is called purchasing document number, EBELN. So this is the for example, just like purchasing document number, this field's name is EBELN in the SAP. In the EBELN, it's a field name. You will get this EBELN in some MSEC table. MSEC table basically used for storing all the purchasing document data. So you will get EBELN from there or EKKO with lot of tables. See, this is the domain. What I am asking about, this is the domain EBELN, which is purchasing document number, And you can see the definition of the domain. We have provided data type over here character, because this may be a number or this may be a character. So character, and it has a 10 number. So purchasing document number is a 10 number, just like 1 2 3 4 5 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this 9 or 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So it is all 10 numbers. So this may be a 10 number decimal. There is no decimal required. When you are going to any document number, there is no decimal required. Where the decimal is required? Decimal will be required amount, in the amount type, or you can say that where divide is possible. So amount, basically we are getting the decimal in amount, just like in 10 lakhs 25,000 some paisa is required. When you're working with some paisa, it's like 10.25, so 10 rupees 25 paisa. Basically it is used in calculating of some tax, just like VAT, sales tax, VAT, sales tax, and some other taxes when involved. Then we are basically using the decimal place over here. Either we want to, how many decimal places you want to dot by minutes of point. So either you can put 2 or 4 as per the requirement. Then what we are doing, domain, purchasing document number. This is data type character. Then we have a number of characters. How many number of characters? So we can put here 10. Then decimal places is 0. Then output characteristics. So how many, if you're going to give 10 numbers, how many number you want in the output? So I want the same number in the output. So that's why I have used 10 over here. And this is conversion routine. Conversion routine in the sense, you are getting the data some other format and you want the output data in some other format. So we are using conversion routine. So what it will do, it will directly convert the data into the desired format. So data object and data dictionary, you can see this. So we have a table definitions. So in the table definition, type definition, you can see the structure. Basically, when you are writing the type declaration, I will show you in the when you are going to learn the programming. So we can see that type definition over here in the structure. This is the structure. We are going to declare type in the structure. We are writing types, then we are colon, then begin of ty underscore data, just like whatever you want. And after that we are storing all the data over there. So we have a data element over here and we have a data type in the type definition. Then the data objects. Data objects, we have a table and we have a database table through which we are getting the data. Then the tools. This is a screen. I'm asking, this is the screen. This is some SAP screen. When you're going to put F4 help over here, when you're going to press F4 from your keypad, so it will show you this another pop-up. Possible values, whatever the possible values over here, it will show you like this. Then data elements. Describe the role played by the field in a technical context. So it is describe the role played by the field of technical context. Field of some semantic meaning can refer to the same data element. Contains the field, basically it contains the field information. Just like EBLN. EBLN is nothing but a data element. So it will basically what data element do? It will contain the information, field information basically. So describe the role played by a field in a technical context. Field of some semantic meaning can refer to the same data element. Basically it contains the field information, which is nothing but a data purchase document number, just like EBLN. You can see the data element over here. This is the data element. So we have used domain also in EBLN and we have used data element also over here in EBLN. You can see that. So basically we have used domain. Why we are directly use domain EBLN? It is getting the data, populating the data over here in character. We can see these things over here. You can see that we have created the domain EBLN and we have provided the data type char and normal structures 10 and 0. And when you are going to use this over here, it will directly pull the data off your. There is no need to writing these things. It will directly come to your data type is char and length is 10, because EBLN we already have created, and we can directly refer this domain into this data element. Or There is two ways to define this data element. If there is inbuilt domain, so we can use that inbuilt domain. Other, we can use some built-in type, just like data type. We can use char and length is whatever we want. There is two ways to define data element over here. One, with the help of this elementary type. Second, with the help of reference type. If you have any name or reference, so you can type over here. It will automatically pick from there. And one thing more, then for there is a field label. What we are doing in the field label, if suppose there is in the SAP, because this data element is standard one, EBLN is a standard one, basically it is used by the SAP, so that's why they can use any character. I mean to say any character A, B, C, D. But when you are creating any customized data element, so that time we have to start that with the Y or Z. There is two character alphabets we can use, either Y or either Z, to start our own data element. We cannot use apart from Y or Z any other character, any other alphabets. We cannot start with the A, B, C, D, E, F. We have to start strictly with Y and Z, because all the other alphabets have been reserved by the SAP itself. So we cannot use. If you want to create a customized data element, customized domain, or whatever, you have to use Y or Z, two alphabets only, nothing else. So after that, suppose I have created here, in just like I want to create my own purchase document number. I do not want to use EBLN. So what I will do, I will create my own data element, just like ZPO number. I will write PO number, purchase order number. So I will write ZPO number. I will write over here. Then I will go, because I have not created the domain over here. So either there is a two way I have told you. So either I can create one domain for this particular data element, or I can directly use built-in type. So I will click this radio button. So this grayed out will be gone, and I can put data type, just like they have used character. So I've used character and 10, and I will save this. This is the I will do this, and what I will do then I will go to the field label. In the field label, I will write all this purchase document number. So I will write in the field label purchase document number. Basically the field label contains this information, short description. So description will contain by the field label. So I will write in the field label itself, I will write the purchase document number, and then I will save this and I will activate this. This is the button for check. Basically this is it checking the data. I mean, if you have any error, this button will, when you're going to check this, it will show you one pop-up that there is an error. If there is no error, then it will show you the green signal that there is no syntactical error. Then you can, this button, this is a kind of activate. So this button basically you can use for activate this data element. If you are going to activate this data element, you can use anywhere in your program. When you're going to activate this, when you start the save this, a pop-up will come. It will ask you for request number. So you have to give some request number to move this, because whatever development in the last class, what I have told you, whatever the development we are doing, basically we are doing in the development server. So there is a 3 server: development, quality, and production. So our responsibility to create, customizing whatever we are doing in the development server. So in the development server we are doing all these things. So when you are going to save this, it will come, the pop-up will come, and it will ask you for the domain, request. So it will automatically create one request. When you are going to save this, it will automatically create one request, and that request we will move from development server to the quality server, and this data we have created in the development server, it will move to the quality server, and end of the when the requirement will come, then we have to move that from quality to the production, then it will be a live. So we have seen that these things in our programming. Then we have seen the EBLN and all the things. Then moving ahead, then tables. What exactly the tables in the ABAP? Let's go for the table. Tables in the ABAP dictionary. Tables consist of the columns filled. Tables, just like tables, what we have seen in the Excel, tables like that table. There is a 5 to 6 fields. So table consists of a column which is nothing but a fields and rows which is nothing but entries. Tables entries. In the ABAP dictionary, table have name, general attributes such as delivery class. There is a delivery class, maintenance, authorization. We will see these things. The table has one or more key fields. There is a key field. So every table requires one key field. So it is a dependent to that server only. Designated as the primary key. Table fields are commonly based on the data element which are based on the domain data. We will learn this. Table fields may be typed without reference to the data element. In this case, the field is said to be a direct type. There is sometimes you don't require to give the any field a data element. So that time it will call the direct type. Direct type in the sense there is no data element. So table fields may be typed without a reference to a data element. So if there is no data element, so that is called a direct type. In this case, the field is said to be direct typed. Tables have a technical setting which govern how the system should optimize the data storage and access the table. There is a settings which is called the technical settings. In the technical settings, we will do the size of the memory and all the things we will provide over there. Then what is expected, the table size should be table. This is expected table size. It is buffered or not. Some changes to be table should be logged or not. These all the things we can store in the table settings. So this is all about the table of the data dictionary. Data dictionary, we have seen some tables. So tables represent the database tables where data actually resides. So basically data actually resides. This is called a database tables. Tables can be defined independent of the database in the ABAP dictionary. The fields of the table, which is called direct type. Okay. The fields of the tables can be defined independently of the database in the ABAP dictionary. The fields of the table can define with their SAP data types and length. So this can be defined their SAP data types or length. So it's a database independent. This is the table, you can see that. EKPO, it's a table. This description purchasing document item. EKPO table, this is the table and this is a structure. What is the table is used for? This is purchasing document item. Purchasing document item for this is the table. You can see that this is the table name EKPO and this is the transparent table. We will learn in the next slides what exactly the table, what is the transparent table. We will go through this. This is the field. What is I asking about? This is all the field of this particular table. So you can see that there is a key and initialization. So this is called the primary key. MANDT stands for mandatory. Mandatory. This is a client dependent. So when you are going to click this, so it's a primary key. So you can see these are the data element. Basically, what we have taught about, what we have learned. This is all the data element. Okay, this is all the data element, and this is the data type. Data type basically come from the data element. We have seen that in the EBLN. What we have seen, EBLN is field also, and its data element is also EBLN, and the data type character and length is 10. What we have seen. And you can see the short description what we have seen over there. It is purchasing document number over here. So EBLN character 10 and purchasing document number. So you can see that this is the EBLN. When you are going to create these all the table, there is a button of save. So you can save. Then again that's the same formula, check and activate. Before check and activate, there you have to check out the technical settings. This is the technical setting. You can see you need to check this setting. When you are going to click this technical setting, a pop-up will come in which you have to check the size of the table, how much size you require. So you check the size. You can want that this table should be locked or not locked. These are the activities you can check in the technical settings. Then you will get the this is the that decimal places. If you want, just like over here, you can see that in the quantity they have put the target quantity. In a point they have put the decision, sorry, decimal places. Then we have a in delivery and maintenance. We will maintain when we are going to create the table. We will see these things over there. So this is basically a special kind of table. You can see that this is a table, simply table. You can see that this is simple table. Now, what we have seen over here, this is something written over here is the transparent table. So we'll see the definition of the transparent table. This is the definition of the transparent table. When a table is defined in the ABAP dictionary, it is transparent table. When any table is defined in the ABAP dictionary, it's a transparent table. When a transparent table is activated, it is created under the underlying DBMS. It is created under the database management system. The DBMS specific table is the same name as the ABAP dictionary transparent table name. The field types in the DBMS specific table are converted to the whatever the appropriate data type definition is in the DBMS. Underlying elements of the table such as fields, order, etc. may be changed as necessary. The transparent table in the ABAP dictionary is the database independent representative of the underlying table and such as in ABAP programming. So basically the transparent table is nothing but this is kind of database table. This is, you can see that, a kind of a specific table. DBMS is specific table, kind of database management system. This is a dictionary table, a transparent table. So it is not a big deal to learn about the transparent. It's a simple table, what you call, which have data elements, domains and all the things. Then we have another table type which is called the pool table. What exactly a pool table? Pool tables can be used to store control data. Basically, yeah, do remember these things. Pool table basically used to store control data, just like screen sequences, program parameters or temporary data. Basically, it is a pool table basically used to store the temporary data, which is called control data. Control data in the sense sequence number, screen sequences, programming parameters and all the things has been stored in the pool table. So pool, just a store in the mind, the pool table basically used to for store the control data. Control data just like screen sequences and programming parameters, some temporary data. Basically it is used to store these data. Then we have several pool tables can be combined to form a table pool. What we can do, we can use the several tables and we are going to combine those tables and this is called the table pool. The table pool corresponds to the physical table on the database in which all the records of the allocated pool tables are stored. So in the pool table, what they are doing, they store all the data from all the pool tables. So it is called table pool. So definition of the table pool table is very simple. Basically, it is used to store control data. What is exactly the control data? Just like screen sequence, program parameters, and the temporary data. That's it. Then we have a cluster table. Basically, cluster table we are using in the HR side, HR ABAP. When we are talking about the HR side and HR ABAP, that time we are using the cluster table. So basically, in the simple ABAP, what we are learning right now, we are not using the cluster table. So cluster table contains continuous text, for example, documentation. So basically it is used to store the continuous text. And here what we are storing, here we are storing the control data and here we are storing the continuous text. For example, documentation, several cluster tables can be combined to form a table cluster, just like table pool. Several logical lines of different tables are combined to form a physical record in the data table type. This permits object by object storage or object by object access. In order to combine tables in a cluster, at least part of the keys must agree. Several cluster tables are stored in the corresponding table of the database. So basically we are using the database, it's a cluster table, to store the documentation text, continuous text, which is basically used in the documentation. So basically we are using to store the documentation in the cluster table, and basically it is used in most of the time, it is used in HR. Then we have a structure. So no data. So I have told you in the structure, it's a like of kind of table, but there is no data record. So it is showing that no data records exist in the database for a structure. So there is no data records. Structure are used for interface between definition between the programs or between the screens and programs. So basically it works as an interface. Structure is used for the interface definition between the programs or between the screen and programs. So basically it's work as an interface. That's it. Between the programs and between the screen and the programs. That is the simple thing. Then we have appendix structure. I will show you the appendix structure over here. When I have seen the table, you can see that there is one button, one tab which is called the appendix structure. The same appendix structure I'm asking what exactly the appendix structure. You can see over here. This is the appendix structure. What exactly the appendix structure do? An appendix structure defines a set of fields which belong to another table or a structure, but which are treated in the correction administration as its own object. Appendix structures are used to support modification. Basically, what we can do, if with the help of there is a one just like I will go to back. So with the help of appendix structure, what we will do, when you're going to click in the appendix structure, a pop-up will come. In the pop-up, if I want to add some more fields or structure in this table, so with the help of appendix structure, we can add those fields or table in the appendix structure, in the table, transparent table. But this appendix structure can store also some data of another table. We have used here EKPO table. Suppose I want to add some data of EKKO tables. So we can use appendix structure and we can add those things. But we cannot appendix structure basically in the standard one. We can use, but we need some key. We need some key to store these things in the appendix structure. So that things we have told you about. Over here, an appendix structure defines a set of fields which belong to another table. You can see that which belong to another table. So you can add also the data of another table into your own table or a structure, but which are treated in the correction administration as its own project. So appendix structure are used to support modification, but it is used to support the modification. Then structures are record declaration that do not correspond to the database table. It is not directly correspond to the database table. It is a table but not directly correspond to the database table. Just like user defined. This is basically just like user defined data type. This is user defined data type structure. So defined like a table and can be addressed to the ABAP program. Defined like a table, but addressing to the ABAP program. Structure contain data only during the runtime of a program. It contains the data type. So basically it stores the data into the RAM itself. So when you're going to run the program, it contains the data only that time. You can see that the structure, this is the structure. BEKPO, BIGPO. This is the structure. You can see the structure. This is the structure of transfer structure items of purchasing document. This is the structure. So it is basically BEKPO. We have seen its table. This is a structure. Its table should be EKPO. So you can remove so we can see that what we have learned over here. You can see that structure. So you can see the transparent table. This is a table for that structure EKPO. So this table has we can store the data. If you want to execute this table, there is a blue button over here. When you're going to click this button, it will execute and you will get the output. But in the structure, you cannot find any activate button because it's not activating anything. Executing. You cannot see the executable button over here. We are not able to execute this. But it's work like a same. This is work like as a table, but it contains no data. There is no data in this. So structure contains no data, but it's work as a interface between program and screen and program and all. Now our main criteria will start over here. We have learned about the tables, we have learned about the data elements, we have learned about the domains, we have learned about the structures, type of table, then appendix structure, technical setting, all the things we have learned about the theoretical part. Now actually we are starting the practical part over here. Practical part in the sense creation of table and all the things we will going to learn over here. How to create a table, how to start a table, what the precautions we need to take when we are creating a table. These all the things we are going to learn from these slides onwards. So let's start. So initially I have told you, when you're going to create a table, this is the data dictionary initial screen, which is SE11. When you're going to write SE11 over here, this is the transaction code pad, so tab. So when you're going to write SE11 over here, this screen will come first. So this is the screen first. So you will see over here we have a database table. It is written, there is a radio button, database table, view, data type, domain, search help and lock objects. So there is a 3 buttons: display, change and create, and these are the buttons over here, which is came out and it closed. You can say, if you want to search anything, you can search with this, and you want to print, then you can do print from here. This is the save button, and you can see these are some another buttons we're going to check. So initially start with the database table. So I want to create one database table. So for what? There is what I have told you, when you're going to create our own database table, it's a customized table. So always used to start with either Z or Y. So Y or Z, there is 2 keys which is reserved for the customization. Basically that keys have been not used by the SAP. Otherwise, apart from these 2 keys, Z and Y, every key has been reserved by the SAP itself. So we can use the ZSSR underscore table. So we are going to create one table which is called ZSSR. We have what we can do. So first thing, sorry, what I have taught you about the F4 button initially, F4. When you're going to F4, so this is called the F4 button. This is the F4 button. When you're going to click this, it will show you the pop-up and it will give you all the possibilities. If you want to search any table which you don't know, then you can put your cursor over here and you put F4. So it will give you the one pop-up. And in the pop-up itself, you will it will show you the availability. So we can start from here. What is the database? So what I will do, I have written my table name. I want this table, and I will put the create button. So when you're going to create, so it will give you the ZSSR table does not exist, check name. So this table is not, if the table is exist over here, so it will give you the table is existing, so it will not create. Because table is not existing, so it will start to create. So this is the table. Enter the description, delivery class, and check on table maintenance allowed. Then click on the tab field. So initially start with the maintain table. So this is the first screen which will come after that when you create on click. So I have given the table name, then I need to give the short description of the table. Just like here they have given demo table creation. I have creating the demo table, so that's why I have written demo table creation. So it will creating the demo table. Then I have given the delivery class over here. In the after that, this is showing the development class because it is a temporary object. So I have given you the temporary object to store this data. Store this data, then in which language you want. Original language is English, so English. Then I have given because it's a transparent table, it is written, so it is showing transparent table. Then delivery class. Delivery class in the sense either it is showing for application table or some other table, because we are using for application work, so we have written application table, master and transaction data. So and we have put table maintenance allowed. When you're going to click this table maintenance allowed, in the sense, in the future anyone want to add some fields or remove some fields, they can do these things. If you're not going to click over here, it will not you allow for add anything or remove anything. So always when you're going to create any table, so always try to tick this button. Otherwise, unless and until you do not want to add anything on that table or remove anything from that table, so each and every time you have to click this checkbox, table maintenance allowed. Then this field will come. When you're going to allow this, then after that you click on the fields. When you're going to click on the fields, it will show you this field. So in this field, you can see that I have started with the fields. I have created my own field, which is called zchar, 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 and this is the field type, zchar de, this is the field type, and this is the demo for creation. This coming automatically, and it is showing data element. So when you're going to check this, it will come, because we have created one data element over here, zkd, because it is not activated, it is not there in the system itself, so it is asking data element is not active. So what we'll do, when you're going to double click over here, we are going to double click over zkd, so it will give you the pop-up before terminating editing. So when you going to another screen from current screen, so always it will give you the pop-up save before terminating or editing. Then it will ask you for your which object you want to save. So if you have anything to save, otherwise you can put on the local object. If you're going to click on the local object, it will not ask you any request. So I have local object. See, when you're going to click on the local object, one pop-up will come for the data element. Data element, we have written over zchar underscore d. So this data element start creating over here. Zchar underscore d not available. So we need to create a data element. So what I have done, so I will start the create a data element. I will click yes, because I have not used that data element. Either that data element is not available in the system itself, so that's why it is asking to create a new data element. So what I will do, I will start the creating a new data element. You can see that this is the zchard data element for zchard. So I have written this and I have written this. We have seen the definition for when we are going to create EBLN data element, but now we will see the field label. In the field level, we can see that there is a 4 kind of field level. In every data element, there is a 4 kind of field level. One is short, medium, long, and heading. There is 4: short, medium, long, and heading. In the short, it's a length. Length is defined 5, 10, 15. So in the long, in the short, I need a char. In the character, in the medium, I need a character. In the long, we need a character. So it is a length defined. So whatever the length you are going to define over here, it will give you there in the field table. So after that, when you are going to do these things, so you need to put on save. You need to click on the save, and after this, see, when you done this, you can create field level. Then you have to click on the definition. In the definition, we can see there is 2 things. Either you want to go for domain or you want to go for data defined itself. So I have clicked the domain. Again domain, because domain is not there. zchar underscore d, a kind of domain they have written. But because domain is not available in the system itself, so it will ask you for create a domain also. So now we are going to create a domain. So what they have done, zdrd was changed, save before editing existing editing. So what SAP will do, when you are going to change anything from anywhere, it will ask you one pop-up. Before doing any change editing, please save the current scenario. So every time you have to save and then move ahead. So here again I have changed with the local object. Local object is showing like $smtmp. So it is local object. So now we have come it is asking the domain zcar_d is not available. So we need to create a domain. So what we need to do, we need to create again a domain. So we are going to create a domain over here. In the short text, you can see that domain for zcar_d. Then again, we are going to give definition. Definition in the data type we are giving character because it's character string. And with how many character you want, it's like I need a 20, so 20 input line and 20 output line. Because if they do not want to move they do not want this data should be going to some another style, so they have not given any conversion routine over here. So we can directly put this and we can move ahead. So it is going to save. When you're going to save, then again you have to put on the local object, and finally it will ask when you're going to save this. Finally it will come like this, and you have to click over here in the green. So it has been, object has been saved and activated. So this is button for activated. When you're going to activate this, use this button activate, this window will pop up and you have to click on green button, so it will activate automatically. Now your domain has been activated, so it is coming over here. Now you have to activate your data element. When you're going to click on over here, it will activate your data element also. So now when you you have activated domain, you have to activate a data element. Now this is your first fill has been completed. So your data element have been completed. So you can use for ready. This is the ready. Now I have used a second. I put the second field znumd, the same process again you have to follow. Again you have to save before submitting editing. Then you have to again create a data element for znumd, same process. Same again you have to create a domain. Again save as a local object. Then now ask for domain creation. If it's going to press yes, it will ask you give your short description for domain field, enter your data type and character and press enter. Then press activate your button. Then you activate this. When you're going to activate, it will save and activate. This is ask you for activation. Then you come out. Then you activate your data element. Then activate these things. Then it will activate. Now it has done. So two fields we have added in the table very easily. You can see that two fields we have added over here, zcar and znum. So these two fields we have added over here. Then I will go for technical settings because I need to activate my table. So I will go for technical setting. In the technical setting, give the data class and size category of the table as per requirement. So there is a data class APPL 99% of the time we are going to give APPL 0 and size category 0 because it contains more than thousands of lakhs of the data. So size category 0. If you want buffering is allowed, not allowed, so you put this. Then no need to do this, you can continue. Then you can activate the table. You can activate your table, the same button what I have asked you about. This is activate. Now you will get the following screen. This is screen because now your table has been activated. You can see that this is active. So your table has been activated now. Now you can want to see the table contents. You can see the table contents and its entries. Now go to the now I'll ask you how. Now there is one button which is called utilities. You can see the utilities over here. When you're going to click on the utilities, it will come one new drop down which have a table contents. You can see the table contents. When you're going to click on the table contents, it will give you the two more display. One is display, one is create entries. So in the create entries, when you're going to click on the create entries, it will give you create entries. So you can create your own entries with the help of that zcar first field and znum second field. So I have given A, B, C in the first field and znum in the second field, and you can save. This is button for save, what I have told you. When you're going to save, it will save. Then again you want to add anything, you can add A, B, D, C, then 20. Then again and save, and again you can add. Go back. Then again Now I have added the entries in create table entry. Now I want to see those entries. So table, again you have to go utilities, table contents and display. Now you have to go for display. When you're going to display, it will show you the entries. So this is the actual table data browser. You can say it is the actual data browser, and here when you're going to click on this table number of entries, so it will show you how many number of entry available in the table right now. And if you are going to click this button, this watch, the kind of watch button, you're going to click this button, it will show you all the entries output. It will show you the output. You can see that. See, this is the output. What we have done, we have added two entries over here. We have added two entries over here. One is ABC, which is nothing but 10, and one is XYZ, which is nothing but 30. So two entries are available. It is showing, that's why it is showing two entry. These things till now, it is very practical thing. What I have taught you about till now, it is very much practical. So here we have learned about the table creation, about the data element part, how to create a data element, how to learn, how to write each and everything, about the size category, and each and everything we have seen over here. Now we are going to learn about some other things. Now we are going to learn some other things about what we have seen here. We have seen the data class. We have seen the data class and some other entries. So what we will do, we are going to learn about the data class and all other things. So let's start to learn about the data class. So where we have seen the data class, something I will show you where we have seen the data class. I'll go back. When we have activated the table, and see, in the someone asks you where you have found the data class, so you should be ready that the data class we have found in the technical setting itself. In the technical setting we found the data class. In the technical setting we have found the data class. You can see the data class is available in the technical category. You can see that in the technical category we have a data class. This is the data class in the technical category. So we are going to learn about the technical category in our data class. This is the data class. What is exactly the data class? We are going to learn over here. Data class. A data class. A data class. Data class determines in which table space the table is stored. Data class basically determines table. See, in the table there is a lot of space. There is a lot of slots available. So in the table itself. So data class will determine in which slots data will going to store or append. So we can see that a data class, which is nothing but we have seen the data class just like A, B, C. So here we can see that and different data class, and there are different categories and different storage space. So data class determines which table space the data is stored when it is created into the database. What is the size of the category? What is the size it will define? The size category describes the probable space requirement of the table in the database. We have seen the size category. So in the size category, with the help of size category, we can determine how much data we can store in the table. So how many types of size category are and the data class are in there? There are 4 size categories. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that from 0 to 4 we have a size category from 0 to 4. And 11 data classes are available over here. Only 3 which are appropriate for the application tables. So 5 size category and 11 data classes are available. So data classes basically used to store the data. Which is table space, in which table space data should be stored. So you can see that over here, this is the data class. APPL, first we have seen the APPL 0. What we have used over here, you can see that we have used APPL0 itself. One second. We can see that we have used APPL0 over here itself. You can see that we have used APPL0 itself over here in the data class. We have used APPL0. So in the APPL0 we are going to store over here APPL0. So you can see that APPL0 is a master data frequently accessed but rarely updated. It is frequently accessed but rarely updated. So this is category called APPL0. So most of the time we are using APPL0 only. So most of the time we are using APPL0 only. Then APPL1, which is basically a transaction data. So what transaction data is doing? So transaction data that is changed frequently. APPL1, this is the first one is the master data, which is APPL0. Then we have a transaction data, which is APPL1, which is basically data that is changed frequently, which is frequently changing. Data frequently accessed but rarely updated. And second one, which is frequently changing. Third is APPL2, organizational data. Customizing data that is entered when the system is configured and rarely changed. So there is a three kind of data category. One is master data, transaction data, and organizational data. So do remember there is a three kind of data category. Just check this. So there is a three kind of data category: master data, transaction data, and organization data. There's three kind of data. So what APPL0, what we are most of the time we are using APPL0. So master data, but what it will do, it will data frequently accessed but rarely updated. Data frequently accessed but rarely updated. This is called the master data. Second one is APPL1, which is called the transaction data. Data that is changed frequently, which is changing frequently. So APPL1, when we are using any table which is frequently changing, frequently, so there we are using APPL1. Then we have a APPL2, which is basically organizational data, which is same customizing data when you enter. This is customizing data that is entered when the system configured or rarely changed. These two basically use APPL0 and 2 use when it is using when we have to rarely change, and one when we have to frequently change. So master data, transaction data, and organizational data. Then we have a data type. These all are the data types what we can use in our system, just like ACCP, character, CLNT client, CUKY basically used for currency key, then CUR, which is also currency, DAT, date, DEC, FLTP, int1, int2, int4, LAN, LCHR, LRAW, NumC, PREC, Quan, raw, times, unit, VARC. These all the data types which we can use at the time of domain creation, data element creation, or in the program itself. Then we have a delivery class. Delivery class we have seen when you are going to create a table. Then also we are seeing the delivery class. The delivery class controls the degree to which the SAP or customer is responsible for table maintenance. So basically delivery class will come in the table maintenance itself. So when you are going to create a table, so there is a table maintenance term has been come. So we are using a delivery class over there. The delivery class controls the degree to which the SAP or the customer is responsible for table maintenance. Whether SAP provides the table with or without contains, determines the table type, determines how the table behave when it is first installed, at upgrade, and when it is transported, and when the client copies perform. So it is all about your table. When you're going to create a table, it is transforming the table from one place to another, from one server to another server. My mean to say from development to quality, then from quality to production. It is all about the checking the performance of your table. It is something related to the delivery class. Controls the degree. It controls the degree to which the SAP or customer is responsible for table maintenance. So basically at the maintenance of the table, this railway class will help out. Then we have a match code. Match code is a tool to help us to search for data records in the system. Suppose we have a one table and we want to search a data from some table from that particular table. So that time we are using the match code concept. Match code is a tool which is basically used to help out to search a data in a table, help us to search the data records in the system. Match code are an efficient and user friendly search. Did add where key of a record is unknown. What are the two levels of defining a match code, which is match code object and match code ID? So we have to give the match code ID and match code object and match code ID. With the help of that, we can use this tool to search out your data. Then we have a conversion routine. Conversion routine I have shown you at the time of data element creation. We have seen that when you are going to create the data element, there is a concept conversion routine comes. So in the conversion routine, what we have doing in the conversion routine, basically it's a non-standard conversion from display format to the SAP internal format and vice versa are implemented with so-called conversion routine. Objects are also called aggregate objects because they are formed from several related tables. So whatever I want to change the data, just like I am getting some different format and I want the data into some different format. In this case, we are using the conversion routine. So from a non-SAP standard, from non-standard conversion from display format to SAP internal format and vice versa. So in which format you want the data, that depends. There's the two kind of conversion routine basically we are using. So these are used when you are going to, it depends on your output, in which format you need your output. So aggregated objects of ABAP dictionary. So these are some aggregated objects. Aggregated means consisting of several components. It consists of several components. This is all aggregated objects. In the ABAP dictionary, aggregated objects are objects which come from several different transparent tables, just like views, search help, lock objects. Let's look to them in the details. So these are some concepts we have used in the ABAP dictionary. View, search help and log objects. Let's go one by one. First is view. Views in SAP ABAP are used for summarized data which is distributed among several. So what it will do, it will summarize the data in one place in a view itself, which is distributed in several different tables. So what it will do, views in SAP ABAP are used to summarize data which is distributed among different tables. So what we'll do, from different location or from different table, we will get the data and segregate collate into one table, a kind of table which is called view. So from different places we are getting just like I can give an example. There is one main data center. From in the main data center, they have different sub center. Any company have different sub center and one main center. So from different data centers, all the data will come to the main center. So this kind of concept used in the SAP views. The data of a view is not actually physically stored. The data of a view is instead derived from one or other more tables. So it is asking about the data of a view is not physically stored at one place. Instead derived from one or more another tables. It is tailored of needs of a specific application. If we require something, so we are using that. Otherwise, we are not using that. So it depends on that. Then view. A view is a logical view on one or more tables. A view on one or more tables, that is the data from one view, is not actually physically stored and is being derived from one or more tables. A view can be used to summarize data which is distributed among several tables, which I have asked you about. View is nothing but view is nothing but it's a kind of summarization, from different tables to segregate into the one table. It's a kind of view. Then this is a view. You can say that this is database view. I have created the view which is name is EKBI, and it's joining the table EKKO, EKPU, EKB for MR11. So MR11 transaction, for MR11 transaction we are summarizing the three tables. So we are joining the three tables. So view basically a join. So you can say that view is basically a join of different tables. So you here you can see the EKKO, EKPO, EKB. I am joining the three tables. So EKKO, whatever the field I want from EKKO I have taken. From EKPO or EKB, whatever the field I want I have taken. So this is the same field. You can see the EKKO, EKPU, mandatory, EKPU, EBLN. So these fields we have taken from there. Then help view. How many slides we have done till now? 76. Okay. Then help view. Help view are restored to output additional information. Basically, help view are restored to help view are used to store additional information when the online help system is called. When the F4 button is pressed for a screen field, a check is first made on whether a match code is defined for this field. If this is not the case, the help view is displayed in which the check table of the field is primary table. Thus, for each table, no more than one help view can be created. That is, a table can only be a primary table at most on the help view. So help view is what? When you are going to click any field, when you are going to click any field with F4 help, F4, there is a one press F4, so a pop-up will come, which is nothing but your help view, which will help you out to get the data. So how to help you come? So a help system, F4 button is press the screen field, a check of first made of whether a match code is defined for this field. If any match code is not defined, if this is not the case, the help view is displayed in which the check table. So basically it is pulling whatever the F4 is available, so it will check the check table basically. So if the check table is available, the data is pulled from the check table. Check table of the field of the primary table. Thus, for each table, no more than one help view can be created. That is, a table can only be primary table or at most the help view. Then we have a projection view. Projection view are used to suppress or mask certain fields or a table, which is projection, thus minimizing the number of interfaces. This means that only the data that is actually required is exchanged when the database is accessed. A projection view can draw upon only one table. Selection conditions cannot be specified for the projection view. Selection conditions. Basically, it is used to suppress or mask certain fields of a table. So basically, we are very less using the projection view. We are most of the time using help view. Projection is minimizing the number of whatever it will do. It will minimize the number of interfaces. And a projection view can draw upon only a table. Selection condition cannot be specified a projection view. Then we have a maintenance view. Maintenance view basically enable a business-oriented approach for looking at data, while at the same time making it possible to maintain the data involved. Data from several tables can be summarized into a maintenance view and maintenance collectively via this view. That is, the data is entered via a view and entered then distributed to the underlying tables by the system. So basically it is use the business oriented approach. With the help of that we are fetching the data. Then we are locking. So what is the locking concept? Locking concept is come when two person is using the same system. So one person should be locked automatically. Another person can use that thing. So when two users simultaneously attempt to access the same data record. This is the synchronized by a lock mechanism. This is synchronized by lock mechanism. When dialog transactions are programmed, locks are set and released by calling certain function modules. These function modules are generated automatically from the definition of a so-called lock objects in the ABAP dictionary. To synchronize the access to a table by setting and removing the locks, a lock object has to be defined in the ABAP dictionary. Activating the lock object automatically creates function modules for the setting and removing lock. These function modules must be included when programming interactive transaction. So locking concept is what? Locking concept is what? Suppose I am using any transaction or anything, just like if I am using, suppose a transaction called Migo or Miro, or I am creating purchase order. So at the same time, another person is not able to get inside that particular purchase order. I am the single person who can use that particular purchase order. Other person cannot go enter. I can enable the fields, but that cannot. For them, it is only disabled. It's a grayed out field. So these there lock objects will come. So I'm working for, just like I'm creating one table. So the same time, the same table cannot be used by some other person. This is the locking concept overall. The lock mechanism. To set lock, a lock object must be defined in the ABAP dictionary. In this lock object, those tables in the data which data records are to be locked by calling a lock are determined. All tables included in the lock object must be connected to each other via foreign keys. You can see the foreign key concept over here. The key field of the table in the lock object from the lock argument of the table. The lock argument are the basis for formulating the logical condition for identifying the records to be locked. When activating the lock objects, two function module B with the names InQ and DQ are generated. So there is a two function module have been generated in the lock concept. InQ and DQ. InQ and DQ, what they will do? InQ will lock the object and DQ will unlock the object. So the same concept is running. The lock objects. Simultaneously accessing of the same data record by two users, the SAP system is synchronized by a lock mechanism. I have told you these things. Locks are set and released by a calling certain function modules. Locks are set and released by calling certain function modules. These function modules are generated automatically from the definition of a so-called lock object by ABAP dictionary. So there is a two function module what I have asked you about. When you're going to lock anything, so there is a two function module InQ and DQ. With the help of that, we are locking any system or anything in the SAP, which is called lock objects. So function module InQ and DQ. So what we need to do, function module, just like function module, basically what exactly the function module, I will tell you. Function module is nothing but a kind of code, a line of code. With the help of that, we can get some data. I mean to say, we will get the output. Just like I can give you the example. Just like I want to know how many days in the January. So for that I need to write a code. How many days? Just like 31 days in the January. So for that I need to write a code to get this output. But the function module, a mechanism, it's a one line kind of small coding concept through which we will get the direct data. So there is no need to write this much of code to get the to write the logic to get the appropriate record or something. So there is SAP inbuilt something which with the help of that we can get the directly result. So what here the function module InQ, then we have to write the object name to lock the table DQ, to lock the table, then DQ object name to release the lock. So there is two things. So you can see the lock parameter over here. With the help of that we can lock these lock objects EKKB, EKPO. So these things have been locked then. Lock object item in purchasing documents. So these are the lock object. EBL and EBLP. So EKPO, this is ambient EBL and EBLP. So basically these two function module EQ and InQ and DQ we are using for lock and unlock. So lock InQ, and then we are writing the object name. This is the lock object name EWB2 minus underscore EKPO. So this will lock, this will, when I need to lock this, so I will use InQ, then this is lock object, then same with the DQ with the lock object. So these particular things will be locked. Then search help. A search help is a tool to help you search the data records in the system. Line itself says the search help. What is search help? It will basically used to search the record from the data itself. An efficient and user-friendly search assists user where the key of a record is unknown. If you don't know the records, if your record is unknown, then you can use the search help. This is the efficient way to search anything. This is the correct. There is some search help, collective search help, and some other search help, elementary search help. We can use the first search help, which is collective search. You can see that collective search help. This is the active. This is search help. In the search help, I have written all my search parameter: Matner, Vox, Matner B. This is the all field and their data element. And with the help of that, I will create a search help. These all what we have learned till now. So what we have learned till now, this is all about the search help from data dictionary perspective. From data dictionary perspective, we have learned all about the tables, starting with the data element, then domain, then we have learned the tables, then we have learned the type of tables, in which transparent table, pool table, cluster table. Then we have learned the search help, we have learned the lock objects, we have learned the view, types of view, we have learned the data class, we have learned all the things, technical settings of the table and all the things. So we have almost completed the data dictionary part of ABAP. So this is all about the data dictionary. I can say that we have used in the SAP ABAP system, and this will help you out to understand basic ABAP, basic knowledge of ABAP related with the ABAP dictionary. What is the data table? What is the table maintenance generator? What all the things. And apart from this, if you want to learn more and more, there is one website which is called saptechnical.com. So you can go over there and you can search out more and more things. If you are eager to learn, if you are greedy to learn more and more things, and you have to go over there and you can search out these things. So you will get a lot of things over there to learn regarding the. There's a lot of other websites. There is a what do you call SAP SCN, which is their own. I can say a kind of networking, their own networking, in which you raise the query and you will get the answer. So there is a lot of things where you can day-to-day learn, and lot of things which you require to learn, you will get the lot of answer over there. So till now we have completed the dictionary part, and now we are moving ahead to learn about the ABAP, I can say the programming part. I don't think that we can complete today entire programming part, but yes, we are going to learn today the programming part, and how much we can complete, we can see that, so that in the next class we are going to cover that programming part, and we can touch some other things which can help you out to understand more and more. So let's start with another thing which is called SAP programming, ABAP programming. Not. So let's start with the ABAP programming. What exactly ABAP programming, and this is troubleshooting. What exactly the ABAP programming, and from where we are writing the code and all logic to learn about these things. See, actually, basically, the ABAP programming concept used in different kind of methodology. I mean, there's a different module, which is something related, just like I want to do something related with MM, HR, or finance, or controlling, or sales and distribution. So we are using the help of programming or developer to develop our requirement to get the proper result. So initially all the programming has been done till now in SE38 transaction. In the SE38 transaction, you will get ABAP editor, which is called ABAP editor. In the ABAP editor, we are writing a code according to the requirement. So let's start. Let's see whatever we can do. First one is objective. Understand, get an idea of ABAP for programming does, and what are the components of ABAP in ABAP workbench. Know to know common statement. Understand the ABAP programming logic roughly, and able to do the basic investigation and facing the problem. Little bit about. So first one says some content. Introduction, the R3 basic system overview. ABAP overview, which is component, program, ABAP for dictionary, function module, message, transaction code, etc. Common statement, command, event, main event in ABAP program, general ABAP command. Transportation for ABAP objects, and type of problem and how to investigate. Just like programming bug, ABAP runtime error, update, terminate, unexpected error message. These all things we are going to learn. Initially start with the R3 system. You can see that introduction of R3 basic system overview. This is something basic system overview I have given. You can see that there is these all the R3 system. These all the R3 system over here. You can see that all the R3 system. So we have a presentation component. These all the presentation component where we are seeing. Then we have in the middle one we have ABAP workbench, R3 basic system, R3 application. These are the application. We have a kernel and basic services over here. We have a database management system, and we have a database over here. So database management system and database are connected with each other. Then we have ABAP workbench, kernel, and all the things. So these things we have seen even initially when we have started the SAP intro itself. What is the presentation server? What is the R application server? What is the kernel basis? These all things we have learned, but still we required some basic knowledge again to start the ABAP code programming. So we have again used those concepts to with a fresh mind. So here is ABAP workbench, which is basically connected from the presentation server and basis server, which is called the kernel and all. And after that, it is connected with the database management system, which is DBMS. So what is ABAP? We have seen transportation. So topics, what we are going to learn the topics. Often use transaction. Transaction often use. What is the ABAP program? Dictionary, function module, message, transaction code. Authorization in SAP ABAP program. So initially start with the often used transaction. So in the SAP ABAP, what transaction we are basically using? These are the ABAP workbench, which is the repository browser over here. Then we have a dictionary, ABAP editor, function builder, screen printer, and manipulator. These kind of some transaction what we are using frequently. Initially start with the SAP AT, which is called a repository browser. It is used to display the edit hierarchical list of the development objects. Whatever objects we need, we are using over here. Then we have SE11, which is dictionary, used to define save data definition. You can also store documentation, help information, data relationship, and other information. You can also use the dictionary to generate the database objects like tables and indexes, what we have seen. The dictionary is the central storage area of system-wide data definition, because definitions are stored centrally. They are available for us for use anywhere in the program throughout the system. This is the SE11 task. Then we have SE38. Basically, in the ABAP environment, the coding part basically we are doing in the SE38 only. So it is called ABAP editor. So create this edit display programming code which is we are using code over here. Then we have SE37, which is called function builder. Define and store function modules. Use the library to write new modules and look up information on existing modules, which is called a function builder, which is where in which we are creating the function module in the function builder. Then we have a SE51, which is used for a screen painter over here, which is basically when we are playing with the screen, then we are using these transactions used to design the screen and applicant graphical user interface. Where graphic has come. 41 is basically used for menu painter used to design the menus that appear into your interface. 51 is a screen painter. 41 is a menu painter. Then we have a 16, which is basically display the tables. 30 for table maintenance and all, maintain data and table. So basically these transactions in which 51 and 41 we are using for a screen painter and menu painter. So this is basically using the module pool programming. Then what is ABAP program? ABAP itself calls A stands for advanced, B stands for business, A stands for application, P for programming. So ABAP called advanced business application programming. So this is the full form of ABAP, ABAP, advanced business application programming. And type of ABAP program, how many types of program are there? So number one is executable program, which is called report or interface. So can be started with transaction code directly in the background, which is why SE30 or SE80. For example, RMC B0100. This is the example they have given. This is the standard program, SAP program. So that's why we call it a standard program. So executive program is start with the SE38 or SE38, whatever the one you can use. Then we have first is there number one, which is start with number one, which is called executable. And I is good for include program. This cannot run by itself. Has been included with some other program. Just like we have created one main program, and in that program we have included this include program. Then we have M. M is stand for module pool. This is a type of module pool. What we have asked you about. Processing steps with this is basically working with the screen. Can be executed via transaction code or menu function. Both the ways. It is basically executed through the transaction and menu function. For example, SAP MV 45A is a sales processing, sales data processing, sales order processing. This is basically sales order processing. Then we have a function group. Function group basically contains some function modules here, which is something related with the SE37. Then we have a subroutine pool, externally called subroutine, which is externally subroutine call. S, type of S. These are the programming which we are using. One for executable, I for include, M for module pool, F for function group, S for subroutine pool. Then we have a web dictionary in which what we have learned, all the things, a web dictionary in the central repository. Then we have a table, view, structure, lock object, search help, and domain, and data element. What we have all the scenes in the last PPT. In the last PPT we have seen all these things. Then we have function module. Then function module, just like what I have asked you about DQ, InQ, the same thing over here. The function module ABAP program include program. Special external subroutine include stored in the central library. Different from a normal ABAP routine, it's a clearly defined interface for passing data to and from the function module. The calling program and the called function module have separate work area. Have separate work areas. Located in function group, main program start with SAP L, XXX, can be tested separately in SE37. Statement in ABAP to call function module are call function, then the function module name. So what happened? What is the function module? Function module basically we are using an SAP program itself in SE38 for some particular logic or for some particular purpose. So In the SAP SE38, we are calling the function order with the help of the statement call function. With the help of call function, we can call any function module over here, and it can be tested. If you want to test, it can be tested separately SE37. So this is the transaction code SE37, in which you can even open your own, create your own function module, and you can test it out. Then we have a message. For this, there is different kind of messages. Message kind of just like first is success, then warning, then error, then information, then event. There are 5 types of message over here. W stands for warning, so it is warning message. So it is here correction is possible. E for error, then correction is required. S for success message or next screen. I for information, press enter to continue. Then A for event, transaction terminated. Here transaction will be terminated, and I for exit, terminated without short term. You will not get any message, and it will directly go out. Transaction code for the messages is SE91. With the help of SE91, you can create your own message. Table is stored, the message text is T100. So table, so every message has been stored in some table. So table which is stored all these messages is T100, language dependent. So in which language you want, if you want to English, German, French, or Dutch, in which language you want, it will show you that message. So ABAP keyword is for message, MESSAGE. So if you want to show the message in your output, so you have to use this command which is called MESSAGE message word, which is basically we are using to give the message. So these terms we are using, these are 5 kind of, I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 messages are there. 5 messages are there basically through which we are getting output of the message through which we can write our code. Then transaction codes. What are the transaction codes? So transaction code is sequence of alphanumeric character forming a code for business task. Transaction type dialog transaction, flow by sequence of screen. For example, FB03. Dialog transaction basically is a sequence of a screen, just like FB0. Then report transaction, start program with type 1, example MCBA. Variant transaction is client specific. Start another transaction with variant, example UPAR. Then area menu which contains the group of frequently used transaction, for example S001. Then parameter transaction, pre-assign values in initial screen and suppress the screen when transaction is executed, example OB22. All transaction is so there is all the messages are stored in as there is a transaction. There is a table for T100. T100 basically used to store all the messages, and same here there is a table to store all the transaction which is TSTC, maintaining SE90. Basically when you are going to create any transaction, you have to use SE93 to create your own transaction, and all the transactions are stored in TSTC. Authorization in ABAP object. So program authorization, there is a 3 kind of authorization: program authorization, transaction code authorization, and table maintenance and data browser authorization. These all the authorization which basically. So program authorization group. Authorization group is a field of authorization object which is S_develop, program development and program execution, and S_program which is program maintenance. This field contains the name of a program group that allow user to execute program, schedule job for background processing, and maintain programs and maintain programs and variants. When creating a program, you can specify an authorization group as one of the program attributes. This allow you to group together program for the purpose of authorization checking. So every time we need to check the program for authorization purpose. For sometimes we don't have authorization for some critical or confidential programs. So that time these concepts have been used over there, program authorization group. Then transaction authorization group. Sometimes we don't have an authorization for some transaction which is very confidential, just like payment. payment, or I can say the payroll transaction are very confidential, because no one wants to check each and every employee know about the payment of some other person. So that time they block for some, they authorize only some people to check the transaction. Otherwise, they will not give the authorization to each and every people regarding that payroll system. So authorization object is a transaction code will be checked whether a transaction is started. The following object, so s underscore t code, basically we are checking for authorization is start or not. The authorization check defined by the developer with transaction SE93. So SE93 we can go and we can check that, or we can check the role, either the role provided to each and everyone or some specific person for the transaction. Field to check is TCD, which is stand for transaction code. Then table maintenance and data browser authorization code. Authorization for displaying a maintenance table. The object only control access using the standard table maintenance tool, which is SM31. Through SM31 you can only do. Enhanced table maintenance SM30, and data browser is 16. Including access to customizing. So object s underscore table. Table is a stand for table unit. DIS table DIS, which is table maintenance. Via standard tools such as SM31. You can check the following fields. The authorization group of the data dictionary objects. Authorization for table by authorization. There is an authorization class in which TDDAT is the table where you can check it out. Either it is activities allowed operation or not. So possible values are 02 for create, change or delete, and third is display. If you don't have might be sometimes you don't have only display of authorization, you can't change or delete anything. So introduction R3 basic system overview. So ABAP overview components. So whatever the ABAP overview we can see, check it out. We have a component, we have a program, ABAP dictionary, function model, transaction code, etc. Then error message, this content. So common statement, topics, events in ABAP program, the dialog module and executable. There is a two kind of program. One is the executable program, second is the dialog module. Selection screen and list which is available over. Then ABAP statement and keyword. So event in a dialog module, just like there is this is a screen. Transaction code has been requested from the user. So they have requested some transaction code, just like SM30 or SE38 or whatever the transaction they have given, Migo, whatever. So there is a screen. You can see screen number 100, 200 or 300. So you can see that for each and every screen there is a two modules have been used, PBO and PAI, PBO and PA and PBO and PA. So each screen have been related with the PBO and PI. What is the meaning of PBO and PBI? PBO stand for process before output and PA process after input. So if you're writing something, just like if you're writing in some keypad, and when you're writing, so process after input, when you're going to input, so it will trigger this function module, process after input, and before showing the output, this function module has been triggered and will show you the output. So if this is the way PBO and PI, this is the way it is working. So this is the screen, dialog screen or your module. So process before output and process after input. This is the function module basically used to show you all the things in your system. Topics. Then again we have these things. Then ABAP statement and keyword. So ABAP programming language consists of the following elementary statement. This is statement, keyword and comment. Then ABAP program consists of individually ABAP statement. Each statement begins with a keyword and ends with a period. There might be comment in the same line as a statement. For example, just like when we are going to start any ABAP program, so it will give you program name. You have to give the program name, just like any ABAP program is also need to start with the Z or Y. So Z test is a test program name, and we have written the right command, just like I need a hello world. So in this case, program Z test will generate the consist of the word. This is hello world. When you're going to execute the program, it will show you the output hello world only, because we have write. Write is a command over here through which it will write the word hello world over here. So in the program Z test, you have written only hello world, so it will give you the output only hello world. That's it. Then some keyword, which is declarative keyword, defines data types and declare of the data objects. We have a modularization keyword, define processing blocks in a ABAP program. We have some event keyword, the respective processing blocks. So in the event keyword, the respective, in the event itself, whatever you have written, it will process. Then we have define keyword in the definition. Define processing block, that process of the soon when they are called the explicit statement in a ABAP program or in the screen flow logic. Then we have some control keyword. Control of the flow of the program, which is string. Then we have calling. Calling keyword basically used for call modularization and function module. Then we have expression and operation keyword to process the data. These are some keywords over here. So we can see that declarative keywords, types, the type create user defined elementary data types and the structured data types. So we can see that example, the type statement, just like I have given surname, 20 character type CC stands for character. So 20 type surname 20, it will take at least 20 characters, and type CC for character. So data defined, there you can define data two types, either global or local. So local variable and global variable or structure internal table memory block. So you can see that this is the way you can define. We are defining the structure over here. So data, begin of address, I am defining the address. So begin of address, address number, this is the 10 number type C. We can define the street, the country like T001 land 1. So what happened? In the table, this is the table and this is the field for country. So we can declare the way, this is the way to declare the country for some number, something. So T001 table and land 1. So it will directly I think fetching the data from this table for the country. So land 1 is a field for the country. So T001 land 1 is the country. So end of address. You can see that. So this is the structure. This is the simplest structure. This is the one way of declaring and this is the another way of declaring. So tables create a data object called table work area. Refer to the ABAP dictionary. Tables structure view. So here you can see that this is the example tables. They have defined the tables. This is nothing but a work area. The work area in which data has been stored temporarily. So tables KNA1, KNB1. The constant declare is a fixed value. You can see if you want to declare some constant, you can declare like constant name, the time value, Exxon Mobil. So you can declare the constant. So this is the way to declare the declarative keywords. We've used type statement, we can use data statement, we can use table statement, we can use constant. Whatever the way you want to define that, you can define. Then we have a modularization keyword, event define keyword. This is some events. This is basically used, very important while you're writing the table. So these are some keyword over here. Sorry, some events, just like starting with the initialization. When you start the program, the keyword initialization is very much important. So you have to start with the initialization. What is the meaning of initialization? Before selection screen it is displayed. So when you start, so before the selection screen displayed, you have to start with the initialization. It will declare all the things. Then at selection screen, after input selection screen plus selection screen is active, then we have to use at selection screen. Then start of selection. So after processing selection select option. So get table, this is a logical database. Offer a database table. Then end of selection. After all the selection has been done, so we can use the end of selection. Then top of page process for a new page has to be started. The end of page process when page is ending. At line selection, when the user selects a line and line at a list. At user command, when a user process some function key or enter the command. In form or in form, this is subroutine, which is defined inside the program. Function in function, this is function module, and in module after processing selection screen, we are defining the module in module. So most of the time we are using The start of selection and end of selection, these both are very much important. At selection screen, we are using when we are require something to input in the selection screen itself. So, and for form and form 100%, 99, I can say the 100% of the time we are using subroutine to define something. So these things we are using frequently. Then build a function. Arithmetic instant function. So ABS is stand for amount, absolute value, x non vx. Then sign we are using sign of x 0 1 if x is greater than 0, 0 when x is equal to 0, and minus 1 when x is less than. SEIL smallest integer value that is not less than x. Floor largest integer value that is not greater than x. Trunc integer part of x. Franc decimal part of x. And string length, which is called strlen, which is called string length. This is some built-in function. Then we have a select statement, SAP table versus internal table, loop in loop, write statement, comment in ABAP and express, and operation in ABAP and a subroutine we have, form, function model, etc. Then we start with the select statement. What exactly the select statement will do? We have little bit about the SQL, which is called SQL. So SQL, what we are doing, if we want to fetch the data from any database table, so we are using the select statement to fetch the data from that particular table. So the same in the SAP ABAP itself, we are using the same concept. So select to read table entries or to fetch the data from the table records from the table database. If return code is stored in the system. So this is the sai sabarsi. Sai sabarsi basically used for return code. If your entry, what the entry you have fetched, if it is successful, then sai sabarsi should be 0. If it is not successful, then sai sabarsi will be 4. It will show you the 4. So if one or more table entries were retrieved, then sai sabarsi will be 0. If 4, then no table entries have been found or retrieved from the data table. I can say the database table itself. So sai sabarsi play a very important role at the time of writing